Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome in. We will get started right away. Just one moment, please. Just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome in. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Instructions for Humanity Sphere of Consciousness. Today's going to be a bit of a different video. You guys know that I am gearing up to hold the Quantum Telepathic Healing and Psychic Development course yet again. And some of you had some questions. So I said, let me go ahead and put it in a video. But I want to talk about how we can use our psychic technologies, is what I call it, or spiritual technology, because you are human technology, for energy healing, for, the quantum leap that everyone's trying to do, for the shift, right? So this is what we're going to talk about today. I have a few things that I'm going to show you guys, and I will be back in a few hours with our regular scheduled program, and you know what that is. But in today's video, I just want to talk about, and I want to bring some things up and add some value to your life. And who knows, maybe we'll go into a little bit of a lesson here. I am, spirit guided. So it is fun to see where spirit will take us. Please, guys, once again, shout out your city, your vibe, your mood in the comments, and I will get to that in a moment. But first and foremost, I do want to properly introduce myself. My name is Tahira. Mother of the Ages is a spiritual name, and this name was given to me when I had the pleasure of channeling the Great Expansion, the Cosmic Bible for the Ages, the clip that you just saw. This is a very important time in the work that I do, and it's when I was, really transitioning and moving into, hypnosis, hypnotherapy rather, because I'm a clinical hypnotherapist by trade. I now specialize in spiritual hypnotherapy, which essentially is past life regression therapy. I do use this as the foundation of everything that I do, because I like to lead people back to the event. What is the event? We're going to talk about what the event is, because that's all very, very relevant as we start to move along in this video today. And I just want to say that, I'm so happy that I was able to gain these abilities. I really opened up to this probably starting, probably 2017. Well, my journey goes back to when I was a child. I think I've always had these abilities. But really, really, really became clear to me that something was different about me probably when I was in school. I think I was in middle school at that point in time. So maybe 12, 13. But things really opened up for me in 2012 when I went through my own spiritual awakening. I started to see all of the angel numbers, and then I went on that big rabbit hole. And then 2017, I started to receive a lot of prophetic visions and dreams. And Thus, you have this now. So I'm so grateful to be able to have activated my spiritual technology. Otherwise, I would not be available to receive the messages that Source God, the universe, was trying to give to me to put in a book so that we could leave this with humanity for the great expansion. So if you do not turn your spiritual technology on, it could lock you out of things that were meant for you. I want to get rid of this notion really quickly, and I'm going to dive into what this course is all about. But it's more than a course, guys. Everyone's looking to quantum leap. But I'm here to tell you, you can't do that if you do not understand your technology. And I may say it's psychic or whatever because that's how the dictionary describes it. And my base here right on YouTube, this is how you guys know it and have come to find me. But in truth, what is it? It is your own innate ability, your God power, your spiritual technology, because the heart and the mind, if you've been in any of my classes, the heart and the mind, it's a very spiritual, massive field. And we cultivate a lot of psychic energy within those energy centers. I am going to show you today 3 energy centers of the body that you can use starting today to start getting messages and channeling energy. And it's going to be very, very simple, right? So let's dispel all the talk. Oh my God, psychics are bad and they're going to hell. I think we've all heard that before, but I'm here to tell you is that, this earth suit, your heart, your soul, your spirit consciousness, it literally has data. And in fact, it's your data that was sent by God. And if you don't have access to it, if you're afraid of it, then this is why I think we have tipped the scales into a kind of a world energetic, vibration that we don't like right now, is because the elites are using these things and they're using it to lower our field. If you're into that, to lower our field and to build their kingdom on top of ours. And so we don't have to march all the time, and we don't have to vote all the time. There's a time and a place for everything, but there's something we can do every single day to make sure that what rolls out for us in our experience is what it is that we would like to call in for ourselves. And what we want for ourselves, we should want for the greater humanity. And we can do that when we activate our spiritual technology, when we activate what it is truly is the God expression from within. You have a energy, and where does the energy come from? The energy comes from what we can call source, is made up of feminine energy, masculine energy, and then of course we do have the energy that those two birth, right? Which would be the sons and daughters, right, of the divine source. And so in order to do this work, we have to understand masculine and feminine energy. We have to understand, right brain, left brain. We have to understand the yin and the yang. And we have to understand that quantum healing and using our spiritual technologies is only to be used truly when you're healing yourself or you're healing other people, is to come back into homeostasis. So you're essentially returning back to balance. And then you expand. And that's all we're doing in quantum healing. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course that's coming up. And then I'm going to show you, and we're going to do some work together here, the 3 energy centers of the body that you can use starting today to start receiving messages. And this is going to be very impactful. So I'm going to spend about, 7 minutes or so talking to you about the course, because when you hear what the curriculum is, this is not like any old program. And in fact, there are people who teach these things and it's tens of thousands of dollars. And so this is literally a fraction of the price. And I think that everyone can afford to invest in something like this, because it's not just about healing yourself. It's about understanding how to deal with the collective energies. And as we move closer to 2030, these collective energies are going to be wild because there's a lot of shifts because our electromagnetic field, of Mother Earth has sped up. And so our technology must also speed up. So if you are a light worker, if you are a chosen one, and if you're someone who's actually already working in this field, but maybe you're working with cards, or maybe you're working with teacups, or maybe you're working with stones or bones, or maybe you're even, a prophetic voice, and maybe you're a Christian, right? But I'm here to tell you is that we can come from behind all of that and just activate and turn on our technology from within. And then, you can use those things to add to whatever it is that you're doing. So I would like to go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to bring up here the course really quickly. You guys have seen this flyer before. It's a quantum telepathic healing and psychic development course, right? So you're going to work one-on-one with me, and I'm going to do this in a classroom style setting simply because, technically, yes, you're going to have a student portal. You're going to be able to log in. You're going to have access to your 6 weeks of content and 24 lessons and over 350 pages of workbook content, audio workbooks, and video and PDF workbooks. However, this is how I like to teach, and I know that it brings value to you guys. So if I can spend, an extra 4 or 5 hours of my week showing up for you guys here on Zoom, so that I know that you will not only grasp the information, but you'll be able to do the practice, the practice sessions and examples. And then, via hypnosis, I always do a hypnosis meditation. And what we're doing there is just sealing this into the subconscious mind. So I have a lot of tools that I bring out throughout this whole process. But that's me in a nutshell: quantum telepathic healing and psychic development. Everyone has these innate abilities. Every single person has these abilities. I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger for myself. We have these abilities. The problem is we have to know how to create the energetic field, how to harness the awareness, right? You have to have dedication as well. You have the abilities. It's all within you. And only thing I'm doing is helping you to activate. I am an activator, and that is what I will be doing throughout this time. I hold shamanic codes, collective codes, ancestral codes, cosmic codes, galactic codes. So this is, this is the codes and the things that Source Divine has given to me. And so I can, be a gift to you all and to help you activate in the same way. Okay. Because, I always say one day we will be called the impossible ones. We will be literally the gateway through and to the new earth ascension portal. That is what I'm here for. I know we do a lot of fun videos. We've gotten ourselves in a lot of different rabbit holes in psychic investigations. And yes, I use all of these things that I teach. I use that when I'm receiving messages. But truly what I'm here for is to lead us through the expansion portal, right? Out of the old, earth that truly is, there's a falling away of that energy if we're being honest with ourselves. And I'm here to lead us to the new higher vibration. And this course is going to help us do that. So here is the curriculum, what we have coming up. We're going to talk about today the intro to psionics. We'll talk about the psychic senses. We'll talk about a little telepathy, automatic drawing, Reiki, body scans, chromotherapy, one of my favorite tools. It's so easy. Then we get into all of our quantum healing modalities, quantum healing chakras, meridians, and even just anatomy within itself, right? Breath work, meditation, mediumship, light codes. I do a light language activation at the end for you guys. And someone in our last class was gifted, Miss Carolyn, the gift of light language. She was gifted that. And in the class I had before, 2 ladies actually received light language activation. So that was quite cool, right? So right on time, Miss Carolyn. Right on time. You must have heard me say your name. Okay, so let me go ahead and remove that. And I want to just start off by, let me tell you guys a bit of a story. I did a past life regression on myself. So you guys didn't see me here for 2 days this week. And the reason is because I need to take time out for my own self care. I would never tell you guys to do anything that I am not willing to do myself, right? So I took time off. I did a past life regression. I did a spiritual bath. I did all of my, rituals. I'm detoxing right now, almost 30 days. Actually, tomorrow will be 30 days on just juice. So that's amazing. And I'll still be continuing this. I have lots of stories to share with you about that. And I did release a lot yesterday. So you didn't see me here yesterday because I was basking in just the relaxed, peaceful energy field that the healing has brought to me. And so it's very important we have to take out time for self care. Okay. So, guys, in week one, I have made this thing so easy. And I think it's truly source that has done this. Everything I do is source. I'm a channel. My body is a channel for source, right? Everything I do goes through source. And even, my goodness, guys, 1 second. And even, guys, if it's interesting, even if I'm doing something and I did not check with source first, like source always comes in. It just doesn't matter. Like, I'm in a covenant with source. My entire body is a channel for the source energy to bring the messages of source. And source is what the universal consciousness. I think we all call God, right? But remember, there's been 10,000 gods in recorded history. So I like to say source because we're really talking about the most high. We're talking about this energy that we have surging through each and every one of us. We are made of energy, and your energy can never be created nor destroyed. Therefore, it came from the beginning. So you were here since the beginning. Let that sink in. Someone say, I was here since the beginning. I am. You are part of the I am. And this is the foundation of what I try to teach. Half of what we're doing is just believing that we're large enough to hold the energy, that we are large enough to look at ourselves and say, I am God. I have the God energy, the God vibration, expression running through my veins. I am God. I can hold this. And it took me time. I had to clear out the old clutter. I had to clear out some of the earlyhood child programming, right? Because you're highly programmable from the ages of 0 to 8, right? I had to clear that out. I had to do some massive work on myself. I've been on my healing journey for over 20 years. I started this journey very early on. I had suffered with depression and anxiety when I lost a friend in high school. And it really did spiral me. I was afraid of all of this thing. If you would have told me I would be dealing with psychic energy, if I would be removing entities as an entity removal specialist, if I would be leading people to past life and, and pulling out sludge and karmic residue from their heart and their body and getting them free and going up against some of the like most we would say like scariest entities, I would have told you you were crazy. I would have said, this is crazy town. I'm not listening to you. I don't want to hear about it because I'm afraid of everything. And that's how I grew up. I grew up absolutely afraid of everything. And even, in fact, my mother would say, I was afraid of my own shadow. And it's true. I was afraid of my own shadow. I would have my brother or my older siblings walk me to the bedroom at night. I couldn't even walk down the hallway in the dark. And now what I am doing is I am literally navigating through this, I guess what we call the void, right? To get people spiritually free. And the void is not this dark, scary place, but what it is, it's a place of, what we may call at times this quantum field, this field of infinite potentiality. I have come to learn that when something has been expressed, it now is no longer infinite. It's when we have not uncovered that yet segment of vibration, source vibration or energy, that when it is, kind of in a dormancy, this is when it's raw. This is the kind of the raw dark matter, right, of the universe, which all things are comprised of. But I am navigating through the void, and in the void is everything that I need to heal. And sometimes we will go through the dark spaces within ourselves for healing. Some of these dark times and dark things that we deal with is only because you are chosen to step into this line of work. You are chosen to stand in the gap for not just yourself, but your friends and your family and for humanity. And sometimes, we have to go through the darkness in order to come out on the other side as a shining star. And this is what I want for each and every one of you that's listening and that has the heart for this. So I just had to say that. So, starting off, we're going to start this program off. We're going to take it very slow. Week one, we're going to pop into our quantum healing intro to Reiki and energy medicine. I can't make this, more simple, guys. So what are we going to learn, right? So what is quantum healing? There's about 12 different, recognized, quantum healing modalities, but it really extends, it really extends past that. But we're going to talk about that. So the foundation of week one is going to be, how do we tap into the subtle energy? Because you are energy, you're made up of energy, but how do you tap into that? Well, have you ever just stopped to breathe? No, really. Let's all do it together. I want you guys to just, where you are, just drop everything for a moment. Center yourself, whether you're on a chair or bed. Ground those feet on the floor. If you're laying down, then there's some energy right now. And I'm going to demonstrate here. And just go ahead and relax where you are, from relaxing your head, body, abdomen, back, legs, all the way down to those feet. And just ground here. And what I'm doing with my hands, I call this in the class the God power hands. This is truly Reiki, and to be honest with you, this is beyond Reiki, because what I'm using is my own energy. And right, with Reiki, you do use your own energy. You have sigils, but see, when you know that you're big enough to hold this, and you know that you're part of the God power energy, then this is what is running through my veins when I heal. It truly is source consciousness. And what I'm doing, and if you hold your hands up just like this, I want you to rub those hands together for me. Rub those hands together. Place those hands out in front, feeling the buoyancy of the energy right in front of you. And now, let me show you. And now what I would like you to do, go ahead and rub those hands together one more time, vigorously, nice and hard, seriously. And now let them go. I want you to feel the energy in between both hands. Now, with my work as a hypnotherapist, I understand what's happening. This is the space in between right brain and left brain. This is that space that literally is holding space for when we come back in homeostasis. Everything, all of the pain bodies or kind of trauma, it's located within space. This is the subtle energy. But as we put our hands together like this, we are in alignment with right brain, left brain. And if I were to put my hands together, I'm crossing right brain, left brain. I'm doing brain and heart coherence as we speak. But for the purposes of this, hold those hands apart and move the hands like this and mold your energy. And you can feel the energy in between those two hands. And you can repeat this as much as you need to, okay? This is called subtle energy. Where's the subtle energy at? It's all around you. You're swimming in a sea of it. So when people say the energy healers and people who use psychic energy to heal, these are, whatever name you want to give it, they have access to the same energy. And in fact, if you do not use your energy, it'll probably be used and consumed by someone else, something else, right? And so we get very, very, we get very, very aware and present with our body and present with the energies, not just the energy that you're made of here inside of your vessel, soul, and spirit. It is also the energy you have in your field. So you have a biofield and you have an electromagnetic auric field. Your auric field stretches out 20 feet on either direction, all the way up and all the way underneath you. So you are swimming in a sea of energy. This is your energy. This is your field, right? And how we can imagine it is if you were swimming in a swimming pool and all of what you see is water is your auric field. Now, if you were to bring your friend in the pool and maybe a sister or a brother, and you're like, oh, I love these people. Now we're just having a party. But if there were some people, very noisy people or very rude people that hopped in that same pool and they were also swimming, you may not like the pool as much. You may get a little agitated because there are things inside of the swimming pool, aka your auric field, your field, that you don't like so much. That's how I can explain it. A lot of people have people in their field that they have to interact with daily, or even the people that we have these energetic cords open to, that technically they're still communicating, via psychic energy. So whether you know it or not, you can use psychic energy to heal. You can also, psychic energy can be used to, keep the thought loop. When you start thinking all those thoughts or ruminating on that old relationship or friendship that went sour, that's psychic energy that you're receiving. So we're always swimming in a bed of this energy, and this subtle energy is within your own field, and it can be as loud as it can be if you don't know how to silence it, how to clear it, and how to cultivate the energy field or the electromagnetic field around you that suits you, the field that will take you to the higher vibration. Why? So it's what? The company you keep, the food that you eat, the water that you drink, the thoughts that you think, and I'm going to add another one in there, how much you sleep. Sleeping with the circadian rhythm. I just added that one, but that is truly, truly how we start to cultivate a field. And also too, not overgiving, overextending ourselves. There's a client in here now. We spoke about this earlier. I'm guilty. I am an overgiver. And oh boy, did I learn a valuable lesson over the past 2 years of overgiving. We only give out of our overflow. Source doesn't want you to give to the point where your energy field starts to get hardened, right? No, you give from your overflow. So that was the first example. You're swimming in a sea of energy. We have to attune ourselves to the subtle energies. We can just gather up the energy once again. Deep breath in and exhale. Feeling that energy between those two hands. You can get as close as you need to feel it or as far back. You can mold it. You see this energy? This subtle energy. Now, when I project it out through my Reiki hands, through my clear sentience, clear filling, this is how I'm going to use the psychic energy to heal. And you can just take a deep breath in where you are and receive. Receive it in the heart. Receive it in the heart. Receive it in the gut. And ground the feet. And a deep breath in, bring that energy all the way up to the top of the head. Hold it and release it slowly and completely. Relaxing, releasing, letting it all go, softening all parts of the body. So, that was just a little demonstration how we can use psychic energy. And so, week one is simple. I make it so easy. It's all about Reiki, it's all about energy medicine, it's all about the mind and the body connection. We don't try to learn this. I know there's a lot of information. I tell my students, do not try to learn this. We're going to put it directly into the subconscious, right? So we're going to be doing little meditations throughout. It will be going through the subconscious. By the end of this thing, I'm telling you, day one, you will be working with energy. Day one, you will be channeling messages. So this is what we're going to pretty much do. And in the workbook, it shows you, different pictures for the self Reiki that you can do. So that's very beautiful. Now, when we move on to week two, guys, we are going to start to explore, our psychic abilities. This is very important. We're going to be talking about psionics, which is the foundation of your psychic senses and what it truly is. And this is your psychokinesis. This is your telepathy. This is your precognitive, functions. This is, everything that, is really, really powerful. And, this is truly, I call it God power. People can call it psychic, but I like to call it the God power because, I mean, to me, that's truly what it is. So, this is what we're going to get into. And we're going to explore our clairs, right? We're going to explore, the third eye, right? I often shoot energy from the third eye for healing. Like if I'm healing tough areas that have a lot of like hard stuck corroded energy that's old, I'll often also, when I use my Reiki hands, I will also project the energy from my third eye just for extra power going into that particular part of the body. And so we talk about the energy centers and flow and all of these things, and a little bit about Kundalini, and let me see what else. So yeah, we go into our telepathy, our psychokinesis, our clairvoyancies, our healing with psychic energy, how to heal the body and the mind, right? We go into ethics, right? We go into so many things, right? How to it's like manipulating energy is not what it sounds like. We always say manipulating is bad, but technically I just showed you how to manipulate energy. When you gather the energy here, the static energy that you're creating, when you pull your hands apart, it's collecting the subtle energy onto the hands. That's what that is. And I didn't learn this stuff in a book. I learned this with source, although I have taken classes. But a lot of these things I'm teaching you guys, I've learned it through my own experience, through my experience healing myself, healing other clients, and what source has told me. So it's I make it very easy to understand. So week two, yeah, it's all about that. You guys will get to know what your speciality is. Now, one of my clairs that I use all the time is the claircognizant. It's just a knowing. I just know. A lot of this stuff I channel, I just know. And some of the things I feel, right? So I might feel it in my certain parts of my body. I'll feel what I call a impression. This is a telepathic impression. When we learn telepathy in week 2, I have a very easy tool. I mean, I make it so simple. You're like, why didn't I do this sooner? All telepathy is utilizing our compassion. If you can watch a news and you be like, "Oh my god, my heart goes out to them. This lady lost her husband. This husband lost his, children and all of that." When the ability to feel when someone else is in pain, this is how we begin our telepathy. Right? So you have to be a real human, you have to have that compassion and empathy, right? If you want to be telepathic. And to be honest with you, right now, the new school, I call it the new school, the new class that children are coming in with a lot of these abilities, right? Which I think is just great. But we can learn these too, and we can learn to harness this too, you know. And a lot of the times, I'm receiving telepathic impressions, and I've trained myself enough, through giving energy, but also receiving energy, where I can know the energy that's oscillating, that I can just pick up on the subtle energy, and I'll be able to feel certain impressions that will show me, oh, something's going on with someone's head, or if it's a mediumship, message, or something's happening to the heart, or to the hip, to the feet. And as you do this more, you will come into that. So I receive the telepathic impressions. You can also, send out a telepathic signal as well. So we do a lot of exercises in class. It was quite cool because we were like guessing numbers and colors and all of that. And people were like, it was scary. They were spot on, and different. I think we did fruit, right? And so that was pretty cool. So you're gonna learn that, right? And you can do so much with telepathy. So when I project the energy out, right, to like heal, then automatically my telepathy kicks in, and it's like I can scan your body, but that's telepathy. That's the psychic energy and paying attention to the subtle energy, and it's telling me, hey, there's something happening in this neck, in this heart, right, in this stomach, something happening, within the eye nerve, so this is what you're going to learn. And I added on this course, I added the quantum healing week, which is so important because it's a cheat code. Even if you know nothing about being psychic, the way that I teach you, every single person will be channeling energy, because the cheat code is, if you learn quantum healing, then it's a cheat code into the psychic senses, right? So I added that, right? And week 3 gets powerful. We are talking about the chakras and the meridians, guys. This week, it's so much fun. So we're talking about, quantum healing and chakras. We're talking about, of course, what is a chakra? How do you know a chakra has too much energy going through it? How it's deficient? How not enough? How different chakras affect the different organs, or different diseases that correlate with each chakra. Did you know your chakra holds a frequency hertz? Yes. And if your chakra is deficient, you can go directly to that frequency hertz. You can listen to frequency music, or you can have tuning forks, and then you can tune your chakras. You can do this on yourself. By no means, guys, I love seeing you guys. I love you guys coming in for your healing sessions, but I want you guys to learn this so you do not have to come after 10 years to come back to a practitioner. Now, sometimes, we like to be worked on by other people. I get that. But for your everyday upkeep, you're going to learn how to do this yourself, right? So you don't technically need the tuning forks. All you need to do is to pay attention to the subtle energy, learn how to scan the body, which I'm going to teach you how to do a body scan on yourself and on other people. And you will be working with the psychic energy. And the psychic energy is the God energy, because you're made up of energy. So truly, it's not necessarily psychic. It's your own innate abilities that they hijacked from you, slapped a dark label on it, allowed the church to demonize it. Meanwhile, they're using the same psychic energy to do collective things, to humanity. And we have to take our power back. so that we can reverse engineer all of the darkness and start to clean up this earth on an energetic level, clean the energetic field of the earth up. And that's what I'm all about. So we're going to learn the chakras. You're going to learn how to do this for yourself. We're going to learn the energy vortexes through dimensional intelligence. We are going to learn, quantum healing, portals, because chakras are actual portals, right? And we are going to learn, guys, so much, guys. We are going to learn um, traditional Chinese medicine. We're going to talk about life force. We're going to talk about qigong. We're going to talk about the bioelectromagnetic, nature of our meridians. The meridians are so important, right? So we get into the yin yang. We get into some Zanfu. We get into the meridians as information highways and what that is. Teach you guys how to heal with the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, all of that stuff. We talk about so much, guys. There's just so much to talk about in this week. And honestly, if you just have the first 3 weeks, you'll be sailing away. I mean, because week 1, we learn how to, get the God power in our hands. We learn how to work with the psychic energy. Week 2, we learn how to project with telepathy. We also learn chromotherapy. So it's like healing through colors. In week 3, now you add the chakras in. By week 3, you are, we're breaking up into breakout rooms. You are clearing someone's chakra, and you'll be able to see what you're clearing. That's the thing. You're going to be able to see it. Yes, because what? The clear seeing, or your clairvoyancy, which is your own ability, guys. It's your own innate abilities, right? And so, yeah, you guys will take a look at that. But let me just tell you this, that all I'm teaching here is how to be present with yourself. If you're present with yourself, you mind your own business, right? Be present with yourself. You're present with God, because God energy is inside of you. You're out here in the world. That's confusion. That's noise. That's mess. That's the other people in the swimming pool that that you don't like, right? When you go inside here, you're cultivating through the different energy centers of the body, not just the chakras, but the 5 senses. You start to cultivate the field that you want to swim in. And I've saved you guys probably reading 50 pages just by explaining it to you like that. I couldn't make this thing more simple, because it truly is simple, because it's your own technology. Okay, so week 4, we dive into, this is where it gets really deep. This is where I geeked out on the 92-page workbook for the quantum healing anatomy, right? But it really tells us about all the functionalities of the brain. We start to talk about masculine and feminine energy, left brain, right brain, because we can't be healed if the masculine and feminine energies are not balanced, because the masculine and feminine energies, the yin and the yang energies, correlate to not only different chakras, but to different organs. So if within yourself, if you've not learned to integrate your masculine energy or integrate your feminine energy, you're gonna find somehow you're off balance, right? So it's truly all we're doing, and we can do wonderful brain and heart coherence, bridging the left brain masculine and the right brain feminine together. And we can do some very powerful work. We also learn about a lot of the vagus nerve and the sciatic nerve as well, because they hold a lot of trauma, right? And so this is a cheat code. If you just learn the quantum healing aspect, it's a cheat code. And don't worry, you're going to have a student portal. You're going to have access to this. So you don't have to learn everything in 6 weeks. We're going to spend 6 weeks together, but you'll have access to go back and to really take your time with the information and use it as a guide, so when you need it, it's there for you, right? And so then in week 5, it gets deep, because we're going to learn about reptilians. No, guys, seriously, we're going to learn how to remove entities. Now, we'll probably just, do the body scan on yourself in the class, but technically you'll have, I'll give you scripts, right, on what to look for. And, everything will be in there, how to pull it out. So if you're in your own meditation, if you're if you're scanning your body with your own hands, right, and you feel something, buzzing or cloudiness in the head, right, I teach you how to expand it, right? Because before you can't see it, but I teach you how to open it up and expand it, and then how to pull it out and where to put it, right? Because you have to put it somewhere, right? Once you remove it. So we start talking about all of these things. We talk about the grays, the reptilians, the energy vampires. We, you know, incubus, succubus spirits, right? Um, we talk about how do these things get attached through the seven deadly sins, your greed and sloth and envy and pride. This is how they find attachment. This is how they take up residence, right? We talk about the five bodies of consciousness, emotional, mental, energetic, spiritual bodies, right? And you not only have to clear physical, but a lot of the times they're attached to one of the other bodies of consciousness. And I go into that. If you're in my Ascension program, we heal all five bodies of consciousness. And in fact, the people who take the Ascension program first and then they parlay right into this course, you guys have done just so phenomenal, because we really do work one-on-one, and it's a very intimate and private settings, allowing you to release all of those traumas and strongholds. And then you're more open. Your field is more receptive, right, to now stepping into to this course. But nevertheless, grays, demons, yes, I talk about demons, yeah, right? We just talk about it, right? Energy vampires, parasitic energies. And I had a very interesting story that happened to me through a healing session that I did one of the days that I was off. And I'm going to tell that story separately and probably bring the practitioner who helped me. It's not like a energy. It was, yeah, I did a colon hydrotherapy, right? So on my cleanse, I went into let's try to get as much out as possible, because your gut, I'm on a journey, healing the gut, and I will be teaching you guys that too. Once, of course, I go on my own journey, which is going really amazing right now. So parasitic energies, guys, or entities, a lot of the times will be the friends and the family that we can't speak up to, that we can't stand up to. We allow that energy to fester, or even, relationships that went sour. There's unspoken things, or the person's tugging on your energy, you're tugging on their energy, sending back messages through the energetic cords. This will create bugs in the body. It will create parasites in the body. It actually will. And we will talk about this in a different video. There's also technology entities as well, things that come through, because there's so much power and frequencies coming through our devices, our phone, our computers, and video games, right? And so you get that as well. Just these disembodied energies that just float around and come through, and all of that. Akashic records. We're going to talk about so many things, how to remove them. And a lot of the times these entities are attached to the ocular nerve. So you're going to learn that as well. And week 6 is so cool, guys. And this is where I went in my past life regression that I gave myself. I was in the Akashic records, and literally I was in a room that looked a lot like this. And I floated up to a book in my past life regression. And I went in to a book that was very high up, and it said gastronomics on it. And I didn't know what gastronomics was, but I was also getting in the past life regression. I got the year of 1937 and then France, right? Paris, France. And if you guys know, anyone who knows me, I have an affinity for Paris. I used to travel there like every year, just because I'm all about life's experiences. I'm an experienced girl. I used to study French and go there and try to practice my français, right? So it was fitting. And the gastronomics is the relationship of food and culture. So apparently I was doing something involving food and culture in Paris in 1937. And I like to go revisit that past life again, because I need to come back to the Akashic records, because it felt like I could enter in through any book. Or maybe, what we're seeing is, how a soul kind of decides and works out their pre-birth plan by looking at all of these books. Because one time, God, Source told me, called it the Library of Infinite Possibilities. even before I knew, before I started to, heal and receive messages from the Akashic Records. Source called it Library of Infinite Possibilities. So we're going to be learning about that. And we will be learning how to actually, go to the Akashic Records, right? We're going to learn in week 6 about the soul's blueprint. We're going to learn about what that is, how to use it through quantum healing, energy signatures, how to read energy signatures, right? Every soul has a unique energy signature. And this is why, too, you have to be careful accusing people. This person's doing this to me psychically. Well, are you sure it's that person, or is it someone else cloaking like them? Do you know what their unique energy signature is? Have you asked for confirmation? Right? Have you scanned your body for any lower field energies or technology implants and all of those things? So there's a lot of accusations going around, and I get clients come to me all the time. This person's doing witchcraft on me, but it may just be an energy that you haven't released yet. And a lot of the times, we will take these soul contracts in a past life, and because energy never dies, what happens? That energy, that leftover residual trauma, gets stored, through, honestly, soul trauma. Their soul trauma gets stored, follows you back here, and then when a situation arises in your next life, people think, oh no, I'm on this loop. No, that's good. You're ready to release it. And then you have to release. You have to go through the healing journey to release, because your soul is saying, I am ready to take this work on, right? So we learn that, accessing the Akashic Records. We learn about templates. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. DNA templates, ancestral templates, collective templates, right? How to access, how to read the templates, right? Understanding the root cause, issue through the template. And then we're going to go into mediumship. Yes, you guys will be doing mediumship. I'm telling you, I made it so easy. It can't get any easier than this. We talk about ethics, of course, and how spirit communicates. And some people, we might even talk about communicating with our pets, being the dog whisperer and all of that. So that'd be cool. And so it just goes on and on forever. Encoding light language. So I'll do that at the end, the light language activation. That gets really, really cool, guys. And so now I am going to show you guys how easy this thing can be right here. Okay, if you've in my class before, you've seen this before. This is all we're doing. Forget about the 350 pages. If you just learn this right here, you'll just understand what's happening. It's your energy body, right? All your chakras are actually aligned the spine, down the spine. There's front facing and then there's back facing, right? And there's a masculine part of you. We have a masculine left brain and a feminine right brain. But the left side of our body is the feminine body. And then the right side of our body is the masculine body. You guys know my take about this. If you've listened in to some of the things I say, this thing was scrambled, because if I were to draw a line, so the masculine left brain and the masculine left brain and the masculine body is right. You were to draw a line from the left brain, diagonal line down to the right hip, and then you would draw a line from the feminine brain down to the feminine left hip. It would create an X. And if you've been on this channel, you understand that within itself is a mutation. It is a genetic mutation. So there was a time when we had access to all these psychic abilities, because we did not have the mutation of the left and the right brain being separate, right? They are actually one. And so we need to bring them back into union. And as we bring right brain, left brain, masculine and feminine back in union, we're also bringing our yin organs, our yang organs, masculine and feminine organs, back into homeostasis. And then when we start to clear the chakras, right, we are clearing out these energy. They're energy portals, or I call them energy portals, the chakras. And once we clear them or remove any sludge, karmic residue, or trauma, right, disconnect any energetic cords to our little man here, then now everything's oscillating the way it should be. Chakras are bright, they're spinning, your masculine part of you is happy, the feminine part of you is happy. And what that truly is it is, all work and no play, You can't be all work, just masculine structure and organized, right? You can't be all play and creative and artsy and flowy, feminine. We use our masculine when we need to work hard and get things done. We need our feminine when it's time to go back and create, right? When it's time to take life easy, go with the flow of things. Sometimes, if you've been trying something and it hasn't worked, switch over to the feminine and invite the creativity in, the artsy and the whimsical in, right? The imagination again. And then this is how you bring the balance in, and you will see those organs start to react and the chakras as well, right? This is all we're doing. And we're bringing back, we're really aligning the frequencies of each chakra, but it's just homeostasis. That's all we're doing. And today, as promised, the three energy centers in the body that you can use today to start channeling energy is, if you look at the chart right here on the right side, we have our head mind. This is how I teach. I make it so easy. We have our head mind, which is your clairvoyant. We have our heart mind, which is like the clear knowing, right? What does your heart say? I just know I'm supposed to do this, right? I just know I'm supposed to do this. I just know. My heart I just know. Follow your heart. Claircognizant. These are what they call psychic, but it's in your body. Don't you have a brain? Yes. Do you have a heart? Yeah. Do you have a gut? The gut mind is the clear sentience, which is the clear feeling. Yes, you do. Now, they always try to, make a scientific term for things. They call it psychic, but truly, you're just connected with your gut, connected with your heart, and seeing the images that are in your head. That's all we're doing here. And every single person can connect with the breath, to connect with the relaxation, to connect with whatever images they're seeing. Whether you know how to read or decode this, you're cultivating the clairvoyant just through calming down the central nervous system with the breath. And what I call this is becoming the observer. We don't want to get in the way. There's nothing that you need to do, but just to be the observer of all of these things. And so we're going to do that right now. So everyone get comfortable where you are. And just take a very big, deep breath in, all the way up to the top of the head. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release slowly, relaxing the top of the head, temples, ears, softening the forehead, cheeks, jaw, neck is relaxed. Shoulders are relaxing one by one. Chest is relaxing. I just heard someone crack their back. Back is engaged and relaxed. Biceps, triceps, releasing the need to hold form. Elongating those arms. Relaxing in the pelvic floor. Hips are relaxed. Thighs releasing any muscle tension. Knees, taking the stress off, a load off. Shins, calves, releasing the tension. And anchoring those feet, feeling the energy at the soles of the feet. And we take a deep breath in here, all the way up to the crown chakra at the top of the head. Hold it. And release it slowly and completely throughout the entire body, relaxing mind, body, spirit, soul, consciousness. And on the next deep breath up, when you get to the top of the head here, you're going to see a color in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you'll know what that color is. It's the first thing that comes to mind. Hover that over the top of your head. Now, sometimes we don't actually see it with our head mind. Sometimes we know it with our heart mind. And sometimes we feel it through our gut mind. And you're going to know the color that is hovering over your head on the next deep breath in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're going to know that now. And you're going to expand that yellow light for the ones of us who had yellow. Some of you have blue. Some of you see like a reddish orange. And just exist within that and expand that out and deep breath into that space. And we're paying attention for any sort of movement with the color, any images that come out of the color, any vibrations, any knowings. And you don't get in the way. I want you to just observe what you're seeing. Allow the color to be the background, and it will show you what you need to see. And after you see what you need to see, we drop into heart mind and know. What do you know about what you're seeing? It's just a knowing. It could be a knowing through a vibration, through a certain oscillation of the energy, through a certain shift in the consciousness or the color. You just know and experience that knowing. Observe it. And then we drop down into our gut mind. What do we feel? What impressions are you receiving in your body? Any little pains or little sharp pains being triggered? Any yawns, burps, any releases of sighs? Any sudden energy surge to a certain part of the body? And this is also how we find our telepathic impressions. It's through the clairsentience as well. And you add that all together. What you see, what you know, what you feel. And if there's anything that needs to be released, you can do that on the next big deep breath in, and we gather that. You can just fold that into that color. And on the exhale, just allow that color to dissolve any and all negative energies and vibrations. Dissolve it and release it with a breath out. Wipe your hands off, clear it. Just say you're closing down any open portals, releasing and clearing. And this will get you started. This will get you started. And you can go ahead and, repeat this video as many times as you need to. But I just wanted to share with you guys, this thing that changed my life. In fact, I have met so many of you guys, beautiful women and men from all around the world. I mean, I've made a lot of you, I call friends. You guys are friends in my head. And it's been a beautiful journey. And you guys are part of my journey of becoming. We are always becoming, right? And you guys have been part of my journey, the ones of you that have taken the class and the ones of you that will take the class, and everyone else in between who just listens and tunes in through social media. It's been a very beautiful journey. And I truly believe if we can help everyone expand into their gifts and abilities, into their technology, then this is how we're going to take our world back. Marching and voting and all of those things are good. But there's something we can do within the silence, within ourselves, that can have such a major impact. And when we all come together through the vibration of the color yellow, right, as it states in the Cosmic Bible, then we can ascend all together and we can take back our world. We can clear and we can renew and release the mutations within the DNA, within your own body, and within the collective soul body. Okay, so I have put a link down below if you want to learn more, but I've just given you a demonstration. You can book a 20-minute consultation. So the January special is you can put down a deposit and make payments on the course. And also too, yeah, there's a pay in full option too. You can email me about that. If you want a discount, then there is a pay in full option as well. But other than that, guys, this has been beautiful. And keep in mind, I do have the quantum telepathic hypnosis session discounted for the month of January only. So you just have a few more days to book that. And you can book for a future date in the future, but that does have to be booked by the 31st if you want to take advantage of that. And that's where I lead you to the past life, where you can find out the event. And the event is what you are, it's the same thing you're experiencing this life. But what we're doing is we're finding out the origin. Where did this, materialize? Were there any soul contracts that you took? Were there any people that, you need to, any traumatic situations through relationships that you still need to heal from? And then that will help you understand what you're dealing with in this lifetime so that you can expand and push past that stronghold, is what they call it. But it's just stuck energy from a past vibration, a past energy field, or a past lifetime, guys. So you can direct any questions that you have for me. Please, you can email me instructions, the number 4, so instructions for humanity@gmail.com, guys. And I will be back in about an hour for the continuation of our psychic investigation, guys. It's been beautiful, and thank you all for joining me. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, I'm going to answer a question here. Is the course a group session or one-on-one? So you have access to a student login. So I guess I can show you that. You will have access to your student login, and you will receive all of the lessons, all of the workbooks, audio workbooks, and then we will meet in a group setting, because I find that when we meet in a group setting, this allows you to practice with other people. So we're going to break out into breakout rooms on Zoom, and then you have a partner to practice with. And I find that it's a really cool way to learn. Now I will be doing this as just one-on-one, but I love teaching as a group, because I feel that, it's a way to build community. And I love you guys being able to, lean on each other, depend on each other, and learn all of these things. And you guys can conversate and things of that nature. But yes, for right now it is group. But you can take this course at any time, and that will be one-on-one sessions. But I feel like that you're going to get a better value in the group setting, because the one-on-one is just three meetings with me one-on-one, but this will be every week. This course is every week, twice a week, and yeah, for 6 weeks, right? So you have me at your disposal for that time. But I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question. All right, guys, I think I need to get out of here, and so I can prepare for tonight's broadcast. But I will see you guys in the next one, okay? Bye. Bye.